Hi, I'm Liz from Fast Kitty Crafts. Today I'll be showing you how to make this amazing stitch sampler pocket shawl. It features several unique and textured crochet stitches which may be new to you, but so fun to learn. I'll go through each stitch step by step, so hang in there with me and in no time you'll have a super cozy and one-of-a-kind shawl. This is a perfect stash buster project using bulky size 5 yarn in the colors of your choice. I chose 5, but you can use any number of colors you may already have. First, we'll start off with a slip knot in your size M or 9mm crochet hook, and then loosely chain 110. For the first 4 rows, we will be using the Suzette stitch. So turn your chain over, and on the back you'll see the row of bumps, and in the second bump, place 1 single crochet and a double crochet in that same chain. And then we'll skip a chain, and in the next chain, place another single crochet and double crochet. And then just repeat to the end of the row. And you will end with a single crochet in the last chain. And go ahead and tie off because we will be making a color change, and leave a long tail because you can use it later for your fringe. So we've turned our work around, and in the first stitch, pull your new color through, and then create another single crochet and double crochet in that first stitch. And then skip 1 stitch and place another single crochet, double crochet in the next stitch, and then repeat to the end of the row. In other words, your hook will be going into each of the single crochets from the previous row, and you're skipping the double crochets. So here we are at the end of row 2, so for rows 3 and 4, just repeat this last row 2 more times. I chose to repeat these 2 colors again, but you can choose any colors you like. And now for rows 5 through 8, we will be using the block stitch. So in your first stitch, and then I made another color change, pull your new color through, chain 1, and then place a single crochet. And then chain 2, skip 2 stitches, and place another single crochet. And then repeat to the end of the row. And for row 6, I pulled through a new color in the first stitch. I'll show you how to do a chainless double crochet. So we'll just chain 1, single crochet in that first stitch, and then turn your single crochet to the side, and you see those 2 side loops, and then just place another single crochet in those 2 loops. Next we'll place 3 double crochets in the next chain 2 space. And then repeat, placing 3 double crochets in each chain 2 space across the row. And the last stitch will be a double crochet in that single crochet from the previous row. And for row 7, we've turned our work and we're going to attach our new color yarn, chain 1, and single crochet in the first stitch. And now chain 2, skip 3 double crochets, and place your next single crochet in between those first 2 double crochet groups. So you're not actually going into a stitch, you're just placing it in between those 2 stitches. And repeat to the end of the row, ending with a single crochet in that last double crochet. And that's why I like those chainless double crochets. It's easy to find and place your stitch into. And so now for rows 8 and 9, just repeat those last 2 rows again. And now for row 10, I've changed my color again, and we'll just be doing an easy row of half double crochets. So just chain 1 and place a half double crochet in that first single crochet, and then place 2 half double crochets in the next chain 2 space, and then another half double crochet in the next single crochet, and then repeat to the end of the row. And now for row 11, I chose to keep the same color, and we will be using the floret stitch. It's a really fun textural stitch. So just chain 1 and slip stitch into that first stitch and double crochet in the next stitch. And then repeat these 2 stitches to the end of the row, ending with a slip stitch in the last stitch. I love the pretty pops of texture this stitch gives. And at the end of this row, we'll finish off and turn our work. And now for row 12. It's another easy row of half double crochets. So I've now changed my color again, and we'll chain 1 and place a half double crochet in the first stitch and in each stitch across the row. And for row 13, I've turned my work and I'm beginning a new color, and we'll be doing another row of half double crochets, but it will be the camel stitch. So what that means is we're going to place our first half double crochet in that 3rd loop in the front. So instead of inserting your hook in the top V like normal, it's that extra 3rd loop in the front as shown. This stitch gives a really pretty rib texture on the right side of the garment. And now for row 14, we'll be doing crossed double crochets. So I've turned my work, I've changed colors, and in the first stitch, I'll be doing another chainless double crochet. So again, just pull through a loop, chain 1, single crochet, and then place another single crochet in those 2 side loops. And now skip a stitch and place another double crochet in the next stitch. And so the next double crochet is a little tricky, but bear with me, we'll go through it a few times. We are going to go around the back post of the stitch we just created and into that skip stitch. So sorry, my hand gets in the way, but we've yarned over and we're going to insert our hook through that skip stitch but through the front, and then yarn over again and pull through 2 loops, and then yarn over and pull through those last 2 loops on the hook. And now you've just completed your first cross double crochet. It makes a really pretty X shape. And then we'll just repeat this process to the end of the row. And so the end of the row will end like this. The first leg of the last X goes into that last stitch, and then the next leg is in that previous stitch. So now this completes the center row of our shawl. So for the second half of the shawl, we'll be repeating what we've done before, but in reverse order. Don't worry, I'll walk you through it. And now we've finished our block stitches, and for row 24 we'll begin our Suzette stitches again. And so in the first stitch we'll join our new yarn, chain 1, and then do a single crochet and a double crochet in that first stitch. And then place another single crochet and double crochet in the next 2 chain spaces. And now place the next single crochet and double crochet in that next single crochet. So this row will end with a single crochet in the last stitch, and the next 3 rows just repeat the Suzette stitch. And now we will add a ribbed edging to each of the long sides of the shawl. So in the first stitch, just pull through your yarn color of choice and chain 4. And then starting with the second chain from the hook, do 3 single crochets. And now slip stitch into the next 3 unworked stitches. And now turn your work without using a turning chain, skip your 3 slip stitches, and then single crochet into the back loops of those first 3 single crochets. And now chain 1, turn, and place 3 single crochets into the back loops of the stitches you just created. And now just repeat this process to the end of the row. And when you get to the end, you can tie off your yarn and do the same thing to the other long side of the shawl. And now we'll start making the pockets. Start with a slip knot and then chain 13. And now turn your chain and place half double crochets in the second chain and to the rest of the chain. You'll have 12 half double crochets total. And now for row 2, we'll chain 1, turn, and then half double crochet in that third loop all across the row. And for the third row, we'll chain 1, turn, and half double crochet into the back loops. And you can see our pretty camel stitch rib texture is forming nicely. So now just repeat these 2 last rows for 6 more rows for 9 rows total. So when you reach the end of the 9th row, chain 1, turn your work to the side, and then we'll crochet evenly all along that bottom raw edge. And when you reach the end, chain 1, turn, and single crochet along that first row. So now I'll be working along the top edge, just chain 1, turn your work, and then do an odd number of single crochets evenly along this raw edge. I ended up doing 13 single crochets. And when you reach the end, chain 1, turn, and then we'll be doing a row of floret stitches on the back. So slip stitch into the first stitch and then double crochet into the next stitch and repeat to the end, ending with a slip stitch into the last stitch. And now repeat this process and make another pocket. And now we're finally going to add fringe to the bottom of the shawl. First, we'll start by cutting lengths of yarn. I used a DVD to wrap around a bunch of times and then just cut one end, and then we'll be using these. I cut these same lengths of yarn in all of the colors of yarn that I used for the project. I should mention we are now working on the wrong side of the shawl. So just take 3 pieces of yarn and fold it in half, and then grab your hook and then place it near the 2 strands of yarn that are hanging there and pull through, and then grab all of the ends of the yarn and pull through the loop. And then I trimmed my fringe straight across all one length. And now we're almost done with the shawl. Just place your pockets where you want them. I placed mine about 1 inch from the edge. And they're a little off center. I placed mine a little closer to the front edge, but you can place them where you like them. Just pin them on and then hand stitch them in place. I hope you had fun crocheting with me today. If you did, I hope you consider subscribing and leave me a comment and let me know what is your favorite thing to crochet. I'll see you again next time with another fun project. Bye for now.